Hi, I'm Bill Moseley, and you're in the horror basement with Jim Jam and Johnny Leroy. Lick my plate, you dog dick.
To the Horror Basement Tennessee Horror News Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Johnny Leroy. You know, as always, we got our local horror expert here, Jim Jam.
Jim Jam here, guys.
Alright, so as usual, you can listen to this on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, Blueberry. Check us out on Horrormino. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. I mean, damn. Hey, you're not on Patreon, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, we're trying to get into the videos.
So, yeah.
I mean, we'll still have the audios, but we're trying to get into the videos. So,
yeah, definitely.
You know, but you get a little bit of early access to some of this if you like it.
And like today, we're getting Bill Moseley.
Yeah,
so
Bill Moseley, guys.
Get early access to horror icons.
Yep. So, what is it? Away we go! Alright, everyone. So, on today's podcast, we have the horror icon, Bill Moseley.
Yep, dog will hunt.
Bill, we thank you so much for doing this, and with everything you got going on, and how is it that you find the time to talk to everybody and to keep up with your schedule?
I don't know. I kind of make it up as I go along.
Oh, really?
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't really have, my schedule kind of changes from day to day. Sometimes I'm, working 23 hours a day, and other times I'm just, kicking back and, wishing the dog would walk itself.
Wow. 23 hours a day.
I have done that. Actually, when the last day of Texas Chainsaw 2, it was July 4th, 1986, we literally worked around the clock because we had until noon on July 4th to finish filming, or Canon Films was going to pull the plug one way or another. And I remember working all night and well into the day, and right around noon we finished up, and Canon Films wasn't kidding. But we had gotten everything we needed to get. That doesn't happen that often because there's this wonderful thing called overtime.
Yeah, that's what I'm sitting here thinking.
Which kind of creates the breaks that sometimes producers and directors, etc., don't really want to apply.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, you hear about the unions in Hollywood, the actors union and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're pretty strict on that, ain't they?
Oh yeah, no, it's great because it comes from it's born of pain and history. There used to be a time before there was a union where they basically just grind you into the ground. Unions, like anywhere, it's good to have overtime and a set schedule, health benefits, safety requirements, just a few basic stuff like that sometimes get overlooked. But I've been a member of the Screen Actors Guild now for gotta be I think it's 33 years.
Sounds
That's a long career.
Yeah.
It's a long career. That's the incredible thing.
But to be around that long, though, like,
I know.
But I mean, like with all the actors that we talk to, you're there for 30 years. You're doing something.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're producing quality work to have lasted, and to still be in the spotlight, and to still have fans.
Yeah, I know. I mean, most of them are so old they probably forget who I am. But
no, but see, you're getting younger fans now, though. I mean, like,
no, I know. Look, I mean, I believe me. I'm very happy about it because a lot of times, especially in show business, it's kind of here today, gone tomorrow, and I think part of it is just you got to have talent, but of course a lot of people have talents. But then you've got to just have some good work habits. You got to show up, early or on time at the latest. And I don't know if you can say this on your podcast, but try not to be a dick.
Yeah. Oh, you can say whatever you want to on this podcast.
All right,
fully uncensored. Be yourself.
Yeah, because you know what? I mean, if you could have all the talent in the world, but if you're difficult to work with, quote unquote, who the hell wants to work with you when they could work with somebody that might have a little less talent, but is a lot more fun to work with.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you are it's 14-hour day, it's the middle of the night, you got to do some tough scenes. It's basically who you want to go to war with, and that's what I try to do. I try to just get out there and keep that in mind. And it's also good to just be grateful for what you're doing, because a lot of people would probably rather play Otis Driftwood or Chop Top or sing in Repo the Genetic Opera than do some roofing work or
that's what I'm sitting there thinking,
like
what
security guard. Shit, man.
Even doing my regular day job, I'd much rather be an actor and work on that.
Yeah. It's not easy, by the way. Acting, a lot of times you sit there in the theater and you go, I could do that. On any given day you could, but it's you gotta be consistent, and you gotta get the opportunities. That's the hard part, is finding those opportunities.
Yeah. Hey, I want to ask, what is a key grip? I see it in the credits all the time, and I'm like,
key grip.
I frankly, I am not the guy to ask that question.
You don't even know.
I have no
You've
idea.
Been in the industry 33 years
or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but we know that.
I think it has something to do with electricity. I mean, really, I don't even know I don't know what upstage and downstage, when they say, that'll be camera left. After 30 plus years, I literally still don't know what that means. I think it means the opposite.
Oh, okay.
So if it's camera left, it's your right, because you're looking at the camera or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then upstage, I think, is because if you upstage somebody, that means you get between them and the camera. So that must be toward the lip of the stage, and downstage must be in the back of the stage. But key grip, I don't know. Best boy, I don't even know what a best boy is.
I didn't even know there was a best boy.
That's another one.
Probably
best boy.
That's probably like the director's son, so he could be a part of it or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have no idea.
He wants the IMDb credit.
Yeah.
But the big thing, like we was focusing on this year, is Death House.
What's your role?
Yeah.
Or can you give up your role in Death House, or like your participation in that film? Because we've heard from a lot of the other actors. We've talked to, 5 actors that have been in it now, or close to?
And Harrison Smith.
And Harrison. And everybody says they had a great time on set.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I guess being with a lot of your friends, right?
I was, Kane Hodder is a great friend, and he did a wonderful job in Death House. Vernon Wells, who, of course, was in, Mad Max, Road Warrior, an amazing actor. Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Tony Todd's in Death House. I have been in, I think this is our either 6th or 7th movie that I've done with Tony Todd, and we have yet to do a scene together.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And that's what's so weird. You can do a movie, you can do 6 movies with somebody, and your scene might shoot one day and their scene might shoot another. And with Tony, I've never worked with him.
Wow.
Damn.
Even though we've been in a bunch of movies together.
Starting
with, of course, the Tom Savini remake of Night of the Living Dead back in 1990 or 91, whatever it was. Let's see. I am one of the 5 evils.
Oh.
Let's put it that way. That is my character. I don't know how much I can tell you. I probably already told you too much, but I am one of the 5 evils.
I think we got 3 of the 5 Eagles out now.
Yeah, because Vernon's one of them.
That makes 4.
We're gonna have to.
Michael Berryman. Berryman's an evil.
We've interviewed Michael Berryman, and
good.
Is Lindsay Hartley evil? Yeah, she's there.
Yeah,
probably.
think she's one of
That's the one that was in she took the bloodbath.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think, but that puts out 4 of them. We don't have
made,
the 5th one.
She made the poster with that shot.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah, we had to ask her about that one. It was like, how comfortable was that?
Yeah.
But it's usually not as comfortable as it looks.
Okay, well, with being one of the 5 evils, which, I mean, I don't want you to touch on what the evil that you are, but they talk about making the
5 evils get a standalone movie or something.
Yeah, standalone movie. So, I mean, that's
Hey,
actually
I'm all for it.
really interesting.
I have expensive children.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, for us, it's like this movie, it's an independent horror film. I mean,
Right.
And that's where the good horror films are coming out now.
In indie horror.
They don't get that wide release, and then, it just becomes the classic horror films, and that's what we're hoping of this film. And with extra films and getting to know the backstory of all the 5 evils, like, we're excited. I don't know if you can tell.
Well, if I'm one of 5 evils, I'm a bad guy.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
You do excellent bad guys.
I am a bad guy, and I can't really tell you much more than that. Except I talked to Kane Hodder, who had seen a copy of the movie, and he said I did a great job.
Awesome.
How do we get our hands on one of them copies?
Yeah.
Well, talk to Kane.
Yeah. Well, I think Jim Jennings gets hold of Harrison to see when the release date is.
I'm going to have to sweet talk Harrison into hooking us up.
Because that's what I mean. I think that's what everybody's waiting on, like the release date.
Yeah. By the way, I had a great time on the set, and I thought Harrison did a great job. A lot of times, one of the things that obviously he wrote it, and when you work with a writer director, for me it's just better as an actor because then it's not a director trying to interpret what the writer wrote.
Yeah.
Then the director knows what he or she has written and what they've imagined when they were writing the scene. So that ends up being that gives Harrison an advantage right there. Plus, he was a lot of fun to work with. He was pretty mellow. Sometimes you work with directors who kind of want to be, they're kind of like
God mode.
What's the best way to say it? They're kind of like a tough captain of the boat, and they really want you to do exactly what they say. And sometimes they just want you to look a certain way and turn your head and lift your right hand like this. And, it's like, dude, I'm a fucking actor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know how to do that stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
You're there to interpret that part. They hired you.
I guess Harrison, he kind of knows that. So
those are the good directors. The ones that at least that I've enjoyed working with are the ones that give you some credit.
Yeah.
They're still in charge, and that's the way it should be. But what happens too is that it's fun to collaborate. For me, it's a lot more fun when they say, here's what we're doing. This is the scene, and of course, probably you've read the script, so you should probably know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But then what happens is, you end up working it out and saying, well, look, if I did this, since he's doing that, and the story says this, what do you think about that? And then, that's my kind of collaboration, where the actor is kind of the advanced scout of reality. It's like, you've written something, there's a blueprint on paper, but now here's the reality. Here's the reality of the props, the other actors, the story, the situation, and I'm actually, inserted in that reality. So here's what I see. What do you think? And sometimes the director will say, that's awesome. Sometimes the director will say, no way. Either way is good with me, but it makes you feel like you're a valued part of the process. And Harrison was absolutely, easy to work with in that regard, that he, was interested in, how the thing worked as much as anybody, and was interested in the opinions of the actors. So I loved him for that alone. And, it was a cool script, a cool story, cool costumes, I got to add. And, I have nothing but, great hopes for Death House. and I hope they make 10 more. I hope I'm in every damn one of them.
That's the plan is like 5 or 6, I believe.
Yeah,
what we hear. That's what we hear.
Yeah, if you're on IMDb, or you look on IMDb, Harrison Smith's credits, there's a ton, I think there's quite a few of them, at least 5 more.
That's why we're hoping this works out really well.
They say money talks.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't see why they wouldn't get their money back plus some on this, because I think the cast alone should drive it right there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, the only thing is what Harrison, because we talked to him. I think it was last July, so it's been a while. But he said this is a smart film. This ain't the dumbed down, as he called. Just the horror over the top slasher. You're going to have to think a little bit through it.
So you're going to have to pay attention pretty much. You just can't let your guard down, I guess.
That's what. Good. I mean, that's what, and that works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm psyched for it. Hey, by the way, how close are you guys to Gatlinburg?
4 hours, 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, we're about 30 minutes from Nashville.
Oh, okay. Great.
No, hour. My bad. 30 minutes from Murfreesboro.
Yeah, hour from Nashville.
Yep. We're.
Do you go to Gatlinburg a lot?
I've been there a couple times. Certainly before the big fire.
Yeah,
that just looked terrible. But I used to go to. The first time I went to Gatlinburg was for the. I went to the Ripley's Believe It or Not house there.
Yeah,
the haunt.
The Ripley's Haunt.
Oh, really?
I ended up doing. That was a lot of fun.
I used to like doing that, but I used to like going and doing that, but I realized that they got a lot more animatronics than actors.
Yeah.
But, I guess you can only
But after
do
year
can,
after year, I mean, you got to...
Because they're year-round, though, so it's probably hard to keep people working. But
right.
And they also got Mysterious Mansion.
Yeah, Mysterious Mansions.
Speaking of places like that, what about the conventions? I mean, you travel to conventions all year round. How many you do a year?
I try to do. I average. I think over the last 10 years, maybe between 8 and 12. So I guess the average would be 10. Because the nice thing about the horror conventions, at least for us monsters, is they're pretty much year round.
Yeah.
I think they used to be pretty concentrated in October. September, October. They're year round, and I've been to. Let's see. So far this year, I've been to Atlanta. I've been to South Carolina. I was just there for Mad Monster Party, just over the border from. It was called Rock Hill, right over the border from. We landed in Charlotte, so that was Mad Monster Party, and I was also up in Winnipeg.
Oh, wow.
At a show up there. So, it's cool.
Yeah. You've already been traveling a lot just for this short period of time.
Yeah, and I like doing it because, I mean, there's it's a paid gig, so that's good. But it's also, it gives me a chance to, meet the fans. And I'm a horror movie fan, too, so it's fun to, compare notes. And I also consider it a, part of the obligation of the actor, to not be a dick. Because I mean, what a bummer when you, let's say you love a movie and a certain character and all that kind of stuff, and then you meet him or her and they're a dick.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, oh man, I don't even want to watch that movie anymore. And so, and I know that there's a lot of Chop Top and Otis. And some Luigi Largo tattooed on people. So that's all the more reason not to be a dick.
Oh, yeah.
Because, if you're a dick and somebody's got you on their thigh or their shoulder, I mean, that's a bummer.
Hey, speaking of the Mad Monster Party, we had one of our writers there, and he got a video and a picture with you. His name was Bradford.
Oh, good.
He said you make it look easy.
Yeah.
Like you treat
he said, that guy was such a dick.
Yeah, no, what he said though is like when you get around people, you make them feel like they're the only one there, like as a fan. So which speaks a lot to where when somebody sits next to you, and you got a line of people, you got women out there like, please sign my tits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I have signed many tits.
Well, how many this? But I'm like, how's that work?
How many this year so far?
I don't think any this year.
Oh.
But how does that work?
So,
like, she comes up, she's just like,
yeah,
Mr.
You
Moseley.
know, a girl will come up and say, "Would you sign my breast?" Usually, they don't call them tits.
That's
and
a
I
man
say,
word.
"Yes, ma'am. That'll be $30."
Damn.
Yeah,
That's a
I
win-win.
think that's a surprise because
Well, yeah.
I think that a lot of times there is a sense that I should be paying them to sign their breasts, and I just consider it that the only way I can do it, especially now that I'm a married man, is that it's just another autograph.
Yeah.
Although it's a special one, and I don't press down as hard.
Yeah. You got to be tender on the booby.
Question: Have you seen
exactly.
someone get the autograph tattooed on their tits?
Yeah. Well, a lot of times what people do too is that they get a signature on their whatever body part it might be, and then they get their tattoo artist to tattoo the signature. So it goes from just Sharpie ink to permanent.
That'd be weird.
Ink. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's no weirder though than seeing your face tattooed on somebody.
Well, yeah. Since we're talking,
It's a little. It was weird at first, but over the years, I think it's great. I like to do selfies with them, and just put my face next to the face on their shoulder or leg or whatever it is. I think it's awesome.
What was the first character that was tattooed though for you?
It was Chop Top.
Okay, so that meant a lot to people.
Yeah. I mean,
Which
they
is
want it.
fucking
They
awesome.
want it. They're saying they want a permanent relations.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
hell yeah. Speaking of tattoo and horror festivals, Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival, which
Yeah, love it. Love Ben Dixon.
Oh yeah. We help them out as much as we can.
Yes,
One of the reasons I started Tennessee Horror News is to help promote that festival.
they're amazing people.
And I was actually there the year they did it at the new convention center. And
Right.
it was I think it was the 10-year anniversary for Devil's Rejects, I think. 'Cause
Yep.
y'all had a panel, and that was pretty funny, especially with a drunk guy in the front. Kept on calling what's his name, a chicken fucker.
Oh, Sid.
We actually, when we was leaving, that same guy
fucked
was in the
up.
parking lot. Looked like he was dead.
Oh, he's probably drunker than.
Oh yeah, and then he just stood up in the middle of the parking lot and started pissing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was.
I love coming to Nashville. I love Ben and Stacy. We've always had a lot of fun, and that was actually the first. I think that was maybe the first, tattoo and horror convention I'd been to, and that was awesome. I just because I love, it's so funny how much we have in common. That horror movies, tattoos, motorcycles, heavy metal.
Oh, yeah.
There's this kind of happy, there's a big word, synergy, where it all seems to fit together and into a lifestyle, and cool. And Ben is awesome. I even he did a show in Chattanooga. I certainly did his show in Nashville a bunch of times. I think the last time I was there, maybe that was it might have been that show. I'm not sure.
I think so.
That was the last time, one of the last times I ever saw Roddy Piper.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember he was there too.
He didn't live much after that.
No, it wasn't long
Yep.
after that.
No, it wasn't long.
We're huge wrestling fans.
Yeah.
So to bring that, I love wrestling, and
Oh man,
because
Such a
it's a
great guy.
show, it's a show, and it's an art form, and I enjoy it. Like a lot of people don't.
Except
enjoy
when he broke that coconut over Jimmy's Superfly
dude.
Snuka's head, that was pretty gnarly.
I went and rewatched that so many times,
Oh my god!
and he did that, and Snuka was just like didn't have no clue that this was going to happen.
No,
Total shock.
Yeah, and he
And
smashed that coconut over his
That was not
head.
a fake coconut.
No.
Coconuts are hard to break.
I mean, Piper was that was the classic wrestling, and I enjoyed that growing up. And then as it's moved on, it's changed, but I still enjoy wrestling. But that's we should start talking about wrestling. I get off on.
But I remember going out that night in Nashville, and we went to a barbecue place on the Strip, and usually Roddy wasn't, didn't really like to go out in public because, again, his notoriety and people would come up and just make it hard to have a nice dinner. We went to a great, I forgot the name of this place, a great famous barbecue place on the Strip. People, recognized him and were nice to him, but they were very respectful, and he had a great time, great dinner. So I just remember that show in Nashville is, one of the great finales for me and Roddy.
Oh, that's amazing. So,
oh yeah,
how long? So, were you like a personal friend of his, or?
I was.
Wow, that's amazing.
I didn't really know him that long because Roddy's convention guy is my convention guy, a guy named Bill Philpott.
Awesome.
So, I met Roddy really through Bill, and we did a couple of shows together here in Los Angeles. Just me and Roddy, and Bill would drive and stuff. So I got a chance to, get to know him a little bit, and what a great guy he was. Really wonderfully soft-spoken.
Yeah.
Smart guy, sensitive guy. And, it's so funny. It's the man behind the persona of the rowdy Roddy Piper. And he was a very, sweet and gentle guy.
I don't know if you ever got to watch Legends House, but
I don't think so.
It's on the WWE network now. I'm not sure if it went on to a major channel, but he was on it. It's the only season that there was. It's all the 80 stars, but it really showed me a different person. I mean, the struggles that he had with all of his personal life. It just makes... and I love behind-the-scene wrestling. Like, to me, that's the most... Because, you see these people, and just like you see actors, and you see them as larger than life. But they're real people. Actors, they're all real. All of you are real, and all you have struggles. And to see the behind the scenes of that, to me, it's just like, and you see their struggles, and it's like, damn, these people struggle too. But he really pushed past all that he had. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, the poor guy was absolutely, was carrying so many, so much pain from, all those, quote, fake wrestling matches.
Yeah.
I mean, man, it's
fake,
they weren't all that.
They're brutal back then, though. They were
brutal.
They were horrendous back then.
I don't know if you ever saw that movie, The Wrestler, with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Oh man, what a great movie! But that so much of that, and Roddy was absolutely big time. But I got a feeling that a lot of that he could probably identify with.
Yeah.
Where the guy is like stapling him and jumping off a fucking ladder. It's like, dude, that's gotta hurt.
They do some. Sorry, they do some pretty crazy shit.
Yep.
Well, with that, so do you keep up with wrestling? Just so I'm just curious.
I don't. I'm not a real wrestling guy.
I'm just asking.
More of a baseball guy. But
I just
but I know it's just so funny because of my line of work. I've met, obviously Roddy and Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
And I met Jake the Snake because I'm great friends with Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, dude. He just got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, hell yeah. About damn time, right?
Yeah. Well, DDP, of course, was in, I never knew him or who he was really until I met him on Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
With him, let's not talk. If we go on wrestling, I can just sit here and talk. I don't want to talk about wrestling. I want to talk about you.
I love him too. So
yeah,
I'm not a fan per se of WWE, but the wrestlers I've met are great guys.
Yeah, they're super.
I love
but
Roddy,
you know what though?
Jake and Diamond.
Like all the horror icons or all the horror actors or in this genre, really nice people that I've met. And I haven't been in this genre like a long time. We haven't been doing this podcast a long time. But, Jim Jam has. He's been in this more than I have. But the community is fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just this whole horror community is awesome. And I don't know. I just had to say that.
Well, thank you. It's been my experience too. Because I love going to one of the things I love about going to the conventions is just, hanging out with guys like, Sid Haig, one of my favorite people. I love hanging out with Doug Bradley. I love hanging out with, every once in a while with Robert Englund. All these people, they're really enthusiastic, as I say, Kane is hilarious. Ken Forey. I love hanging out with all those guys because off duty, they're really fun guys to hang out with. And some of the Scream Queens. I love Caroline Williams and, Linnea Quigley, Debbie Rochon. A lot of those girls are just really awesome. Tiffany Shepis. So, that's really what it comes down to, is it just ends up being, a lot of people who are into it, who have fun doing it. And I got to say, there's a big difference between, the movie people and the TV people. The TV people, I don't really know them that well, like, kind of like TV horror people.
Yeah.
I don't really know them that well. I'm talking specifically about the movie folk.
Yeah.
And there is a difference.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I say difference in how it shoots and everything, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll go back a little bit. It's been 14 years since House of a Thousand Corpses. How has your life changed since that movie has been released?
It's actually changed for the better, I guess. I mean, when I did House of a Thousand Corpses, I right about the time I was doing it, not a lot of people. So that was about I think we shot in maybe 2000. So that's actually been like 17 years since we shot it. It came out in 2003, but we got dropped by Universal, and then finally we wandered around for a while, and finally ended up being distributed by Lionsgate. So let's say from 1986, which was when I did Chainsaw 2, to 2000. I mean, I had done, Night of the Living Dead, nice little turn as Johnny. I had been one of the Deadites in Army of Darkness. So I had done some things. I was in a Clint Eastwood movie called Pink Cadillac. I went up to Alaska and was in a Disney movie called White Fang. So I had done some work, but nothing quite as exciting as as Chop Top. So what was pretty amazing was actually, it was a lot of fun to get a job like Otis Driftwood, which of course Rob Zombie gave me I didn't have to audition for it, and I got the job because actually I had because Rob was a big fan of Chop Top. So I guess he figured if he can do Chop Top, he can sure play Otis or whatever. So I never auditioned for that part, which was great because
pretty much guaranteed a movie and didn't have to do nothing to get it.
Well, yeah.
Your previous
I
work
did
helped
insofar
you.
as my reputation preceded me, but I was actually emceeing a little horror award show at Universal Studios here in Los Angeles in October of '99, and I came made up as Chop Top, and did the whole. I was the MC in character. It was a little outdoor horror award show, and it was really a lot of fun. But one of the horror award recipients that night was Rob Zombie.
Oh,
wow.
And so I was like, and here he is, Rob Zombie. And out came Rob, and Rob freaked out because he realized, oh my God, that is the real Chop Top. So we talked after the show, and Rob got an award. I think Rob had been nominated for many kinds of awards, but had never apparently gotten an award before. So it was a special night for him and his then girlfriend, now wife Sherry. I think Rob's parents were there. So it was a fun show.
Yeah.
And Rob and I talked, and my older daughter, who was like 13 at the time, was there with her little girlfriend, and they were total Hellbilly Deluxe fans, and so they were excited. So I made some good daddy points that night.
Yeah.
And then we had a wonderful chat, and then, a month later, Rob's manager called me at home and said, hey, Rob just got this movie, House of a Thousand Corpses, green-lighted by Universal. and he wants to know if you want to be in it. And at the time, I don't think I was even getting work as an extra. I mean, I just was having one of those, like all actors have their slumps, and I was in one at that time, and living on unemployment, and a little job here and there, and so I said, yeah, sure, I absolutely love to be in this movie. Well, as it turns out, it was the part of Otis in House of a Thousand Corpses. And it was like, wow, this is, as I read the script, I thought, shit, this is a big part.
Yeah.
And, that was basically how it happened. What I did do was I didn't screw it up. So, I kept showing up and I guess doing the right thing so that, actually it was, so I ended up, hanging on to the part. So that was good. But, yeah, I mean, that's, and then that pretty much changed my life. It didn't for a while because we shot the movie and I did a good job and everything. It felt good and everybody liked what I was doing. But then, of course, the movie wasn't picked up. Universal, that was right around the time of, I don't know if it was 9/11 or Columbine. There was all kinds of stuff going on, which, did not, which made Universal leery of putting out a horror film, especially where, I sit there for 30 seconds before I pull the trigger on poor Walton Goggins. So it ended up being like until 2003, I think, was when when it finally, when we finally got some love from, when it finally came out in the theaters, and it was pretty awesome. It was great to have people like it. And it was a far different role than Chop Top. I thought when Rob first wanted me to be in the movie, he wanted kind of his version of Chop Top. But, by golly, he, firmly, gently but firmly guided me away from Chop Top. And, I ended up, finding Otis, who was a, far different character.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it was, so that changed things. And then, of course, the popularity leading to Devil's Rejects, that really changed things. So,
yeah. I was going to say, the look difference between Otis and House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. I guess it was because there was a time period difference. How long was it? Did y'all make the sequel for Devil's Rejects between the first one?
Well, it was interesting. I remember I was over at Rob's house watching the Super Bowl back in 2005, I guess, and Rob was talking about the Devil's Rejects, and he said, "I think with this one, I want Otis. I'd like to have Otis with a beard." And and I said, "Well, can you show me what you mean?" And he had some paper plates. We had like some Doritos or something watching it.
I was just sitting there thinking.
And he pulled out a pen and he flipped over a paper plate and he drew this picture which looked like kind of a Lemmy, or it kind of looked like one of the Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
And I said, "Wow, okay, well that looks good." And I said, "Well, I've never grown a beard before. I don't know if I have one in me." And he said, "Well," I said, "What do you suggest?" He said, "Well, why don't you just stop shaving and see what happens?" So I did, and eventually. A couple of months went by, and by golly, that beard had been hiding in my chin for all those years. And the beard came out, and one more time, just like with Chop Top and Otis from House of a Thousand Corpses, one more time they wanted me to shave my head so that the wig would fit or whatever. So I did that, and yeah, so I was looking like one of, like that guy in Slayer, with a bald head and a beard.
I think Carrie Keegan, right?
Yeah, right. And, so, the script was different. This time, Otis seemed a little more, of this earth. The beard was a lot different. It was interesting because in House of a Thousand Corpses, of course, I had, contact lenses.
Yeah.
And in this one, it was just my baby blues. And then also, it was interesting because again, Otis just didn't have the same kind of dialogue. It was a lot more practical. It was a totally different movie insofar as it was kind of like I consider Devil's Rejects more like a kind of a violent crime picture, like a road picture.
Yeah.
As opposed to more like the old Dark House classic horror movie of House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
So it just was a different feel, almost more like a Western, really.
Oh, yeah, I got that feel.
Yeah.
Can I ask you one thing? You probably get it a lot, but that one scene where you take the two guys out, and right before you kill them, you say, what do you say?
Oh, you mean, I am the devil, I'm here to do the devil's work.
Yes, I had to get that in there. That is.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that sends chills down your body right there.
I am Willy fucking Wonka, and this is my chocolate factory.
Fuck yeah. It's crazy to hear that, pretty much in person, even though we're on the phone call. But
hear it live.
Yeah, hear it live. There you go.
I wasn't kidding either.
I was gonna fucking kill that dude.
Well, I remember because it was a real hot day, hot and dry. We were out on an abandoned chicken farm.
Oh shit!
So I guess people had like a bunch of chickens out there in outdoor cages, and then what happened was I don't know, maybe ran out of money or something, so they just abandoned the farm and the chickens. So when we came years later, it was nothing but chicken dust. I think these are like mummified chickens, and
fuck.
And so it was hot, and got chicken dust all over the place. And I remember Lou Temple kept spitting in my face. He made an actor's choice of like, come on, mister, and and he spit in my face, and that's when I would get mad and tried to and cut his face off actually. But when you do that about 5 times, and his spit was kind of smelly spit, and he keeps spitting in your face. It's like, dude, I'm getting a little tired of this. But of course we had to keep shooting it until we got the right shot or whatever. So each time, I mean, uttering lines that I uttered to him were getting more and more realistic.
Yeah. Okay, here's the question: do you think that was on purpose? Like let's reshoot that until you got so pissed off it was just like.
So. I don't think so.
That'd be messed up.
I mean, sometimes. They could have been, but it was cleverly concealed. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
In movies,
you
got one point of view, the other point of view. You got what is called a master shot, which is the whole scene with the 2 people involved. And, you've got a lot of different angles and stuff. So there's a good chance that it was just part of the deal. But of course, then once you establish an action in the first shots, then you have to be consistent. So, once Lou spit in my face, then from every angle, you got to keep spitting. And, man, I was, that was not
fucking horrendous.
That wasn't a fun day at work.
No. The last scene of Freebird, how awesome was it shooting that?
Actually what was interesting, because I didn't know that they were going to use Freebird, so it was just basically a day of driving, which is fine with me. And a beautiful place. That's called Piru, Piru, which is north of LA. And, beautiful scene along that ridge line and everything. And we were gathered. There was Sid, me, and Sherry, and, me behind the wheel of the car. And as we're driving along, the production had hired a helicopter to take a shot of us driving along that ridge road. And it was fine. The helicopter was 100 yards north of us, shooting at us, and shooting film, not bullets. So everything was fine, and we shot, and then we had a walkie-talkie in the car, and they said, "Okay, good, cut, come on back to home base." So I drove back, and everything was very cool, and Rob. Said to Sherry, everything okay? And she said, well, I don't know that. and she was a little afraid of the helicopter, and I think the helicopter had passed over us at one point, but it hadn't hovered. I mean, it just had literally passed over, and she said that she was afraid of the helicopter, and had that been me and my girlfriend, I don't think they were married then yet, but had it been my girlfriend, this big multi-million-dollar production, the helicopter is probably $1,000 an hour, or whatever was going on there. I would have said, "Look, honey, I know it's scary, baby, but you got to suck it up."
Yeah,
suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah. And golly, Rob just said, "Okay," and he said, "That's enough of the helicopter." And because being sensitive to Sherry's copter phobia, he just said, "Yeah, that's good. Well, tell him to take a hike." So that really impressed me. I think most of all of that shot. Of course, when you put that shot together, there's, what was very interesting was I think they probably. Maybe they didn't dismiss the helicopter. Maybe they just had the helicopter fly off and shoot. Remember that same stretch of road with no car on it?
Yeah.
Which is what you see as the credits roll, and you hear, good old, the fabulous theme song. Which I think, if there was anything that Devil's Rejects did, it was to restore the dignity to that song.
Yeah.
Because I think after Wayne's World, it was like Free Bird, and Wayne's World on Saturday Night Live. It kind of made that song kind of a goof.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great that Rob did that. Rob had some amazing songs on that soundtrack.
Oh man, that soundtrack is like.
I would tell you this though: if you ever heard Free Bird live,
I never have.
In person, maybe not by Leonard Skinner.
No.
But by any group, which I think I have heard it by Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, I have to.
But I heard it by Fish as well. I don't know if you know that group. With was it Winona Judd? Or one of the Judds? Not. Yeah.
Naomi? It's either Naomi or Winona. It had to be one of the two.
Yeah, the daughter.
Winona.
Yeah. Oh my God. You'd never.
Wow.
That song's amazing. Like live.
Probably. Yeah. I bet you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can. And
I'll check it out.
But like, if you sit there live and listen, fuck Wayne's World. I mean, like that song is just like, damn, this is bad.
Because I had heard of, I'd never really listened to Terry Reid before, and his songs on the Rejects were amazing. Terry Reid, because I remember when I was a young hippie lad, there was a Terry Reid album called Super Lungs, I think, and but his songs, boy oh boy, those were amazing. I mean, I thought that soundtrack. I mean, the thing about Devil's Rejects is, speaking of all those different elements, I mean, it's one of those movies where. Movies are great when all of the elements come into harmony.
Yeah.
And in that case, it was like the photography was amazing, the acting was amazing, all the different personalities and that great story and script. The music was amazing.
Yeah.
And I think when you put all of those things together, that's why people are still, clamoring for another, or still watching it every week, low these, whatever it's been, like 11, 12 years later.
Yeah, well, I think it didn't help when Rob put on there, would you like to, on Instagram, would you like to see these characters come out again or something?
Well, I said, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You could do anything, because like I was telling somebody, can't remember who, but you can make that whole last scene like they were dreaming what was about to happen, and then start from them some magically coming out and all the cops get killed and they drive on through. I don't know.
That would be awesome.
So, yeah, because I've seen plenty of movies like that where they dream about something happening or foreshadowing, right?
What's the could have been?
Yeah.
What could have happened?
Sounds good to me. Look, I mean, I suggested that we died. And then you start with the shootout, and then we go to hell, and we're just too bad for the devil, so we get kicked out of hell. We get rejected.
We live up to the name of the movie, The Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, and we come back, to, I don't know, walk the earth, to do even more evil stuff, or to be good enough so that we can actually get into hell and stay there. And the other thought I had was to take, because when the sheriff's department overwhelms us in the very beginning and overruns the house, as Sherry and I are escaping, you see the cops like taking stuff out of the house, like scrapbooks and all kinds of different stuff that they're recovering as evidence, and there are a lot of cans of film. Yeah. And we know from House of a Thousand Corpses that obviously the baby does that. I want to be loved by you, and she does kind of the Betty Boop song. Yeah. And so obviously the family is into watching movies probably, and probably making their own. So I thought it'd be cool to have a compendium of just the Rugsville Sheriff's Department going through a bunch of these film cans.
Yeah.
And like doing something like a cable hunting show, starring Otis.
Otis's cheerleaders collection.
Hunting Humans, and everybody, like Baby would have her little movie, and Captain Spaulding and Charlie, all kinds of stuff, Mother Firefly. So there's a lot of ways I think you can continue the story or, do something with it. So, I don't know. Better hurry up, or we'll be doing it in walkers at this point.
Yeah.
I'm the devil. I'm here to do what am I here to do? Oh yeah, the devil's work.
Script manager would be like, oh my god.
Yeah, right.
But fuck yeah.
Well, okay. Well, we've taken up quite a bit of your time.
I think we went over the 20 minutes.
Yep. Well, I like talking about it.
Well, hell yeah.
But
I appreciate
it.
One last question though, before we go.
Sir.
What's next for you? Like, you got anything coming up that you want to promote?
I do. I have a couple of movies coming out. One of them is called, of course, we went over Death House. One of them is called Cynthia. Cynthia is it's a horror comedy that's was written and produced by the publisher of Girls and Corpses magazine.
I've heard of that.
And Cynthia is coming soon, and it's pretty awesome. It stars Scout Taylor Compton, and I play you'll see. I bend the gender a little bit in this one, so let that be a warning.
That makes mine wonder.
And then also I was down in Australia last year and did a movie. It's a giant pig movie. So it's a creature feature, an Australian creature feature called Boar, Boar. And that should be coming out one of these days. Actually, I think they're still doing a lot of post-production, so probably not until the end of the year.
Yeah.
But that's very cool. And then I did a short film called Flashlights with Heather Langenkamp, who, of course, starred in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And Heather and I play a traveling flashlight salesman, and Heather is the housewife that I visit, and strange and wonderful things happen. So that's Flashlight. Wow. And then, of course, I was just up in Michigan about 6 weeks ago, playing a scary clown in a movie called Crepitus, which is Crepitus. And Crepitus, apparently the sound, that's the sound of bones snapping or something. So,
wow.
So that's,
I
made sure that that a couple bones snapped up there. So that should be fun too. I think that's coming out probably around Halloween of this year. So
perfect time.
I'm still jumping around, which is good. I just got married on Valentine's Day.
Well, congratulations!
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
that's definitely easy to remember your anniversary.
Hell yeah!
That's why I did it.
Smart
That's
move.
why I did it.
Plus, though, you only have to buy one gift.
Oh Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, right? Like, or does
She probably expects
one
like, hey, it's
box of
Valentine's
candy.
Day and an anniversary, so I get 2, right?
no?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you get one.
She's smart, which is good. I'm glad there's at least one of us. But that's my story. I got two daughters, one of whom is a freshman at UCLA here in Los Angeles, and I got another daughter who is a fashion model.
Oh, there you go.
And
Hell
she has a hilarious Instagram called Oodles of Pain. Oodles of Pain, Jane Moseley. And she's awesome. I just picked her up at the airport today. She was coming back from Paris, so she's getting around and doing some cool
awesome.
modeling.
Yeah, I've seen you post pictures and stuff with her.
Oh yeah,
I think
awesome.
there's some goofy pictures, quite a bit of goofy pictures with her.
She's very funny. She's got the sense of humor in the family.
That's good. Hell yeah, that sounds great.
Man.
Yeah, so family's good. Everybody's in good health.
Awesome.
Got some work coming up, and living in Los Angeles. It's a good life.
Sounds like it.
Well, man,
Well, we hope we can maybe get in contact with you again soon, or when your other films come out and you want to talk about.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Death House
you
drops.
can always find me on Twitter and also Instagram. It's as you probably know, at Chop Top Moseley.
okay.
So
Chop
check it
Top
out.
We
It's a
follow
lot of
you
fun.
on there, and we'll definitely.
Yeah.
As soon as this goes up, we'll tag you in all the
that's great.
social media. But
All
man, I thank you so much for.
Thank you for taking so much time with us. Actually,
Well, it's my pleasure. I'm
we
a
appreciate
fan
it
too.
a lot.
I'm into it, so I'm always happy to talk about it.
Yeah, well.
We hope you
Yep.
have a great night and a great weekend.
Well, thanks.
Happy Easter.
I'm gonna take the dog out now because she's been looking at me like,
Hey,
if you
now.
don't hurry up, I'm gonna pee on the floor. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will tag you in this as soon as it goes up, and
Sounds great.
all right. I appreciate it, and you have a good night.
All right. Nice talking to you guys.
All right, you
All
too.
right.
See
Thank
ya.
you, sir.
All righty. Okay. Bye.
Wow.
That was a great one,
Wow.
and definitely awesome.
Let's just say this. We was told 20 minutes, and that man talked to us for an hour.
So
Thank you. No. Thank you, Bill.
thank
Moseley.
you. Yes.
Thank you, sir. But I hope if you listen to this entirety of this, I hope
Interview.
you enjoyed it. This was a fucking awesome interview.
Hell yeah.
This was great. We got all kinds of information. You got to hear about who Bill Moseley is, just his regular life. I mean, damn, he's a cool dude. I hope he comes to Nashville soon, somewhere local soon, so that we can see him.
They still got till October for full moon, and they're still announcing people. So
Yeah,
it's possible.
I mean, what an awesome guy. And like I said, go follow him at Chop Top Moseley.
Yep.
Hell, go follow his daughter at Oodles of Pain on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yep.
But working. We enjoyed this. We hope you enjoyed this. And Jim Jam put stuff in the description, whatever he puts in there.
So like this
On YouTube at least. Can you put stuff on? I don't ever go to.
Yeah, you can links in descriptions.
But I mean, is that on all the?
SoundCloud too.
Yeah, I don't ever go to SoundCloud to listen to this. So.
Well, like, share, subscribe, all the above. So thank you. That's all we got. Here we go.
Peace.